Hi, I'm Rock. Now I'll introduce you to Rig. It's a Golang HTTP request library, which is simple and powerful. Why not just use net HTTP from the Go standard library? Let me tell you why. In Rig, you can create and set client using chained methods. Similarly, you can also create and set requests using chained methods. Both have rich settings, which is very intuitive and convenient. It also makes your program easy to debug. When you enable debug logging, you can see all the underlying request details. And when you enable tracing, you can clearly see the underlying information such as time consuming, and even help you to find the root cause of high time consuming. You can also enable dump to see the raw request and response details of the underlying transport. If you want to enable all debug features, you can simply invoke the dev mod. When you need to test an API quickly, you can use the global wrapper methods, which means that you can just treat the package name as a client or a request, so you can test API with minimal code. Rig is also very smart. It can automatically marshal and unmarshal the body according to the content type of the request and response. When the response body is not UTF-8 character encoding, it can even be automatically converted to UTF-8 to avoid garbled characters. Here is a static page with GBK encoding. Test with curl and see garbled characters. Let's test it again with the Go standard library. The same result. Let's try it again with Reg. No more garbled characters. Let's enable dev mode and check the log. Charser not found in content type header, but is found in the HTML meta tag, so Rig decided to convert the body content from GBK to UTF-8. Rig also supports multiple HTTP versions, including HTTP 1.1, HTTP 2, and HTTP 3. By default, it will automatically sniff the HTTP version supported by the server and select the highest version. HTTP 3 is not enabled by default. You can enable HTTP 3 if you want. Here you can see that the request for the first died using HTTP 1.1, another at the beginning with the HTTP 2. After the detection of the server-side support HTTP 3, subsequent requests on the use of HTTP 3. If you want, you can also force the use of a specified HTTP version. Rig also have some handy settings for request retries. Here is an example of retrying when an error occurs or a bad status code is received. If the status code is forbidden, the token is automatically refreshed and updated to the authorization header. Rig also have flexible and powerful middleware capabilities. You can hook a custom logic on before request or after response, or even fully covered. For example, you can use it to uniformly handle exceptions, record logs, metrics, and report information to the tracing system, and etc. This is an example of using a response middleware to handle exceptions uniformly for all requests. This is another example of integrating a tracing system like Jaeger using client middleware. The Rig's transport implements the HTTP round-tripper interface, which is exportable and can be easily integrated with existing project or SDKs. This is an example of integration with Kubernetes Client Go, using transport middleware to report all API server requests to Jaeger for visual display and troubleshooting. Then we can see the details of the API server request in the tracing system. When a failure occurs, we can also check the detailed error message. There are many other useful features of REG. Go to the website to learn more about the usage and examples.